Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Make sure your time and resources are being used effectively. Now, there was a long pause there. This is episode number 50 of season 4 of the Online Prosperity Experience. I'm humbled. I'm besides myself. You know, when I went on this journey of creating a podcast, I never knew I would be sitting here and talking on episode number 200. And it's because of you, my internet explorer, that you've given me the passion, the strength, and the motivation every single day to show up and present things as I see them in the trenches, especially when it comes to digital marketing. You see, when I started this podcast, it was out of frustration because I had lost my Facebook account and there was no traction that was actually happening. And, you know, as a digital marketer, I had to find a way for me to reach my target audience, deliver my message. And I looked at what my strengths were and I noticed, you know what, I'm really good at talking. I might as well utilize that. Video is a little bit hit and miss for me. So when I started the podcast, I was not quite sure where this was going to go to, what it was going to look like. But we course corrected, and now 200 episodes later, and these 200 episodes are not just run off the mill episodes. We're talking episodes that are 30 minutes long at a minimum for each episode. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you so much for having been on this podcast with me. And if you listen to this podcast and you want to get started with your marketing with me, I want you to reference this podcast and you get a free month from me. This is a guarantee. So reference podcast episode number 50 and season number 4, and you get a free 1 month SEO, Facebook marketing, whatever product of ours on me for free. Okay. The reason why I want to say and do this is because I understand that maybe you're just calling your potential clients right now and people are hanging up on your face. I know I've been there. You know, you're probably sending out hundreds of emails without getting as much as, hey, thanks for reaching out. And you probably looked at our prices and you're thinking, I got to work hard in order for me to be able to afford these fees. So this is my gift to you for being with me throughout, and it humbles me. And if I hear from you telling me that, yes, you're happy for me to take you on for 1 free month on me, just reference this podcast, okay? Because this is something that I just got to do to my active listeners. All right. So in this episode, even though we're going to be reminiscing about everything that we've been talking about in the last 200 episodes, I just really wanted us to, you know, go back to where it all started off from. Because if you have a strategy around your marketing, if you have a strategic plan where you actually have identified your target audience, you have clarified your message and determined what media is best for you to reach out that audience, I can guarantee you have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. You just gotta obviously put in the time, you gotta do the work, and once you've got all those components together, nothing can stop what you're creating, okay? The whole premise of the internet is to be there to educate your audience and just to let them know every step of the way that you are available to help them when they do need you. It depends on what the buyer's journey looks like within your business. For some people, if it's B2C, it's somebody sees a product to buy, that's it. For B2B, they have to look at it, they have to get an inquiry, they have to get a quotation. They have to ask, their family, they have to look at their budgets because there's contracts involved and things of that nature. And every step of the way, if you're available, if you're just showing your customer that you can help them by actually helping them, and you're there every step of the way to justify their failures, encourage their dreams, or confirm whatever suspicions they might have in your industry, and even show them how they can throw rocks at the things that are keeping them up at night, you, my friend, will be rewarded with business from people that actually pay, stay, and refer. And this is what I'm hoping this podcast has been able to achieve for you, to really help you stop wasting thousands of ad spend and not even generating any qualified leads because you haven't got a strategy in place. So I'm just hoping this, episode number 50 will just really put it all together for us so that you can see if everything that you've been learning or everything that you have been looking out for in order to create your business has actually been actioned and put in place so that you actually get the results that you're after. Okay, and I promise the episodes that are going to be coming from now on are just going to be full of actionable tactics, actionable strategies that will definitely get you way ahead of your competitors, because right now I really understand where you are, because I know sometimes it feels like nobody wants to buy what you're selling. And if you're actually relying on this business to put food on the table and to actually have any self-confidence in yourself, it can put an enormous strain on your emotions, and you're terrified to have to give up on your dreams if you can't generate any leads, if you can't bring in any new clients. All right, so this is why the online prosperity experience is there for. And I encourage you, if you haven't subscribe, because information like this will literally change your world, would literally create new revenue streams that you never thought were possible, and also create systems and processes that you can follow through that will make your business bulletproof. And once your business is bulletproof, guess what happens? You now have recurring revenue streams that will actually skyrocket your profitability and ensure that your business goes through any recessions, any market downturns, any global pandemics, any sweeping lockdowns. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. And if you haven't figured out how to what it entails to work with us, just schedule a call with me. And I can help you take advantage of these challenging times, or really creating a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And this is what we'll do. We'll work hands-on with you to develop a strategic plan, and then we'll deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity, because that's important. If you know your target market, all right, it's easy for you to communicate with them. It's easy for you to write content for them. It's easy for you to reach out to them, and for them to know that you're the right person with the right solution to the problems that they're facing. And when that clarity is there, you can now create and craft strategic messaging that goes to this audience. Okay, you can then pick and choose what media you can use. Just like right now, I'm using this podcast to reach out to you. All right. And in the meantime, we can work on your consulting offers. We can work on your fees. We can work on your pricing, your business model optimization, and really help you set your marketing engine and lead generation system so you can consistently attract clients. Once you're there, your business is just going to be generating hundreds of qualified high-ticket leads like clockwork. All right, so you never have to rely on cold calling, on emailing, and just to beg clients to hire you. All right. And I understand. I know what it's like to be where you are right now and trying to grow your business because it's a tough endeavor. You know what the biggest problem is as an entrepreneur? You know, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. I mean, yes, I might show up every single day with the podcast, or you can have the big library of 200 episodes that you can have a look at. But, you know, you go from hiring and managing new staff, you go from balancing the books, you know, driving growth, and a whole lot more of other things that need your attention. And it all feels like a constant, maybe balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, you know, your real goal as a coach or consultant or small business owner is just to help your clients. Okay, you don't want to fiddle around, you know, with all this online stuff. You leave stuff like that to people like myself, all right? You want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving people's problems. And you don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate the complex world of online marketing. And you certainly don't want to spend maybe yet another minute, like I keep repeating, maybe on the phone, having to beg people to hire your services. Let me tell you something. If you're an avid listener of the Online Prosperity Experience, you don't have to. Okay? And I've got a long list of clients that want to work with me. It's not because I'm a genius, you know, because I understand one thing. All right? I have a simple system that I follow. Find your target market, clarify your message, determine what media you want to use to reach out to those people. And once you've gotten those people, you know, in your space, create a lead capturing funnel that nurtures them, right? You're nurturing them so that they get to know, like, and trust who you are. Because we all know that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And then pretty much after you've gotten all that in place, have a simple conversion strategy to turn those people that are just happily browsing into people that pay, stay, and refer. And once people pay, stay, and refer, all you got to do is now show up in their space, provide absolute, remarkable, world-class service. All right? And in the process of you providing that world-class service, you're delivering outstanding results to your clients, and you actually win their loyalty for life. And when people are loyal to you, they will sing your praises to their family, friends, colleagues at a barbecue, or even strangers on a bus. And I'm not kidding. But I hear you. I understand this whole setup is easier said than done. Because one of the greatest challenges of digital marketing or marketing on the internet in and of itself is just to make sure that your time, your effort, and all the resources are being used effectively. I don't know if you know this one thing. We are all internet explorers. We are all seeking information. We're all seeking to buy, to connect, to belong. We're all seeking, peace of mind. We're all seeking status. We're all seeking to be valued. And where do people get that information? People come to the internet to get that information. And if your brand and your business and your website is the one providing that information, then obviously it might sound like a broken record that people get to know you, like you, and trust you. So you want to make sure that whatever you're putting out there in your social media, your blog post, your content, every single bit of information that you're putting on the internet is utilizing your time and your resources effectively. You know, it's all too easy to maybe put a huge amount of energy maybe on social media, on TikTok or on Instagram, or maybe across multiple sites. And then maybe you're sitting there, you're just scratching your head and wondering, is this actually working? Or is all the hard work that you're putting in even scrapping the surface? You know the reason why? Platforms like Meta, Facebook, or Instagram, or YouTube, they own the content that you're putting out there, and as soon as that content is on there, it belongs to them. They're the biggest content platforms, yet they don't produce any content of their own. So you need to utilize that aspect to drive the traffic from those platforms back to your own properties. And once you've got a strategy to do that, you no longer are feeding the insatiable content beast that so happens to be social media. You're no longer trying to be famous or TikTok famous, because back in the time it used to be 15 minutes of fame. Now you've got 15 people with 60 seconds of fame. So you're putting in all that energy, doing all the TikTok challenges and whatever social media phase that's there, yet you're not actually taking people away from that source where the information is back to your website. And that's why all social media activity is always open-ended, because you can never satisfy that beast. You're dealing with millions and millions, even billions of people that don't know you, that don't like you, that don't trust you. And you expect them to act on your 3-second video, your 2-second scroll in their newsfeed. Have you ever looked at the social media newsfeed? The social media newsfeed is like Sally, John, an ex-girlfriend, something from McDonald's, and then your post, and then a lawyer, whatever. It's a whole mixture of stuff that when somebody looks at your post, maybe leaves a bit of a like, that doesn't necessarily mean they're engaged with that particular piece of content. It just so happened to be in their newsfeed. So that's why social media activity is open-ended. If you're not driving traffic back to your own properties, you need to own and control the traffic sources that you are being found on. Like right now, you might, be listening on this podcast on Apple or on Spotify. You might be listening on, all these other platforms, Amazon Music, on Google Podcast, on Stitcher, on Listen Notes, on Pocket Cast, on Podchaser, on Deezer, on Stitcher, I've mentioned Stitcher. So you get the drill, These are all just traffic areas. So social media is like a shopping mall where people just go there hoping to find something. If you're not inviting people back into your shop and getting their details after they've gotten into your shop, you will never see that person ever again. So that's why social media activity is open-ended. There's always more sites that you could be active on, and there's no limit to the time that you can actually spend on the sites where you are already engaged. And hence the need for a strong strategy, for clear limits, clear goals. Otherwise, social media on its own does nothing for you, bruh. Does nothing for you, sis. Does nothing but virtue signal whatever is the flavor of that month. And you might be wondering, what's my vendetta around that? I don't even have any social media presence anymore. I used to, but not anymore. So if you're working for maybe a B2C company, it can be really tough because you're dealing with the end user, and the end user has different needs, wants. They're just a different animal altogether. And that's why even if you don't have maybe B2B clients, I suggest you create your social media strategy for an imaginary B2B client, just as an exercise. So you might be a coach who speaks to the end user, all right? That means you have to be actively there. You have to be in their newsfeed and obviously be visible enough. But that's different when you're dealing with B2B, sort of clients, because B2B clients just need the context and content that will make them make a decision. So for B2B, it's somehow easier to set limits. If you really want to, grow your business without, losing any hairs, try just working with a B2B client base. So let's just imagine you're working for a company, say in the food services industry, that specializes in frozen goods to independent restaurants and maybe bars within your area. So how might maybe you tackle social media if you are in the food and beverage sort of section? So here are a few points that you might explore. All right. You want to look for vertical social media sites which actually serve restaurants and bar owners, etc. So we're looking at Instagram, we're looking at Twitter, we're looking at Zomato, we're looking at all those other places, Urban Spoon. I don't know if these places are still there. Uber Eats. Those are the social media sites where people go to look for food. And search for and join relevant groups on LinkedIn or on Facebook. and you want to maybe create accounts on Instagram to engage prospects, to engage thought leaders, food journalists or food critics and other bloggers or influencers. All right. And then you go in and you create a geolocation based campaign so you can just implement at hospitality service, trade shows or exhibitions and other relevant events within your area. And basically what you then do is just reach out to other restaurants and maybe offer to sponsor local or maybe celebrity endorsed deals and offers, things of that nature. That would definitely do if that's the scope of client you want to work with. And each option is fairly clearly defined. You need to open an account with Uber Eats. You need to target people that are going to hospitality conferences. And each of these strategies is looking to engage a specific group of people, not just everybody. Because if you go for everybody, you come back with nothing. Not everyone is going to be your customer. So it's this sort of clarity that you want to apply to any social media work, especially when you're working with B2C clients. Just because they're all over the place, it doesn't mean you too have to be all over the place, right? You need to control the buyer's journey. You need to control how people view you and engage with your content still within the social media space, but bring them back to your own properties, places you control. So the places that you control is your website, your email marketing, your CRM, all those places where nobody can take whatever efforts and work you've done away from you. Because what you want to avoid is things that sound like, yeah, we want to reach as many new prospects as possible, or we're using social media to establish our brand. Whoop-de-da. What does that even mean? Because that's very open-ended. Establishing your brand, getting people to know, like, and trust you, that's a lifetime endeavor. As a coach or consultant, you need direct response. You put something out, you need people to respond either by downloading it, either by subscribing, either by joining your challenge, whatever it is. Direct response, not open-ended. So, you doing social media just to reach out to as many people as possible. Yes, what would they do with the information when they've seen you? Establish your brand. According to who? Who cares? These are very open-ended goals, and that's why a lot of people are failing within their marketing strategy, and then they think they're doing it all, yet they're not even scratching the surface. Who do people say you are when you're not in the room? Because if you're going for brand, there's no boundaries to that. Like I said, it's a lifelong endeavor. I mean, you could spend forever trying to get people to remember who you are. Have you ever met people 3 or 4 times and you keep having to introduce yourself because they don't remember? Everybody's all focused on themselves. What makes you think they will stop whatever they're doing? They will stop having fun. They'll stop eating sugar just because you showed up in their newsfeed. And executing on brand usually gives you a poor ROI. What are you investing in? What sort of return are you looking for? One way or another, whether you do this B2B strategy and optimize your business model or not, I just want you to create social media strategies and campaign that address a specific audience for a particular purpose within a specified time frame. Direct response. Pick a phone, download something, a clear, concise call to action. Not just leaving it up in the air, because if you don't tell people what to do, they are not going to engage with your work. They are not going to partake in everything that you're doing. I tell you something, do that, and you'll be able to apply resources where they matter the most. You'll be able to get results because what gets measured can be improved. When you know that putting out a particular post is getting a lot of downloads and things of that nature, wouldn't you double down on that? Wouldn't you multiply or triple on that particular type of post? Yeah. Then you'll be able to use your time effectively. And then you also have enough time every single day to look out for the online prosperity experience. Like I'm really humbled that you've been with me all this time. And if this is the first episode that you're receiving, this is the kind of quality content that is there. Yes, there was teething phases when I was trying to find my voice and everything else, but I think I found it. I want to work with you so we can really develop a strategic plan for you and your social media, your digital marketing, just how you're going to town with, your work and everything else that you're doing. And we can just do a deep dive. Work through your ideal client clarity, because maybe you are reaching out to segments of the market that actually are not paying you the most, but they're easy to convert only just for your own ego. All right. And once we've gotten who are these segments, we'll really work on the strategic messaging so that people get to know you, like you, and trust you. And once we've got that message right, we then go into your consulting offers, your coaching offers, your service offers. Look at your fees and your pricing. Why that is important is because that's where profit is made. Profit is not made by necessarily charging, 500 people at any given moment, but it's actually getting the most out of a few people that you absolutely love working with. I'm a big believer in wallet share instead of market share. And pretty much that, then we then look at your business model, the optimization for it. And like I said, if you've listened up to this far, just mention this episode number 50, season number 4, and you get a free month on me. I viscerally want you to be successful at this. All right. And within that 1 month, I'll help you set up your marketing engine. Okay. Because at the end of the day, the best marketer wins every time. Some companies just go on creating maybe the best product, but before that, you have to think about, customer acquisition. And obviously, customer acquisition is great in order for you to sustain your business. People don't know how good you are until they've become your client. And that's where marketing comes in. So all that spraying and praying that you're doing on social media might actually not be helping you. It might actually be, hurting your brand. I really want you to sustainably scale your business from 6 figures or 7 figures and beyond that, so you can establish yourself as a trusted leader within your industry. Okay? And how do we do that? We obviously look at your target market, you would clarify your message, and then we determine the media that you're using. And if social media is the media that you've been using, I want you to avoid vague, open-ended strategies and campaigns that will be a drain on your time, on your money, on your resources, and unable to achieve any tangible results. So many people are out there spraying and praying with their marketing. And I do understand that one of the greatest challenges in digital marketing or social media marketing is just to make sure that whatever you're putting out there is an investment, something that will help you do and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I can't wait to see what it is that you can create, All right? And maybe you're thinking, I'm already working with a marketing agency. Well, let me save you some time right now. Yes, when you come and work with me, which is the online prosperity method and system that we've created, it gets tailored to help any coach, consultant, or service-based business to actually start exploding with growth. Any coach or consultant can achieve some mind-blowing success that I've actually also helped my clients to achieve. Okay. However, that doesn't mean that, I'm just willing to take on any client, because my client list is often full and my calendar is booked out weeks or even months in advance. Right now, I was actually looking at my calendar so that I can make space for my kids' school holidays. I forgot that it was school holidays. Okay. So I usually just have space for a few extra businesses every single month. And I'm only going to take people who are willing to work hard and follow instructions and especially have a dream they want to achieve. So, because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to be your customer. All right. So I want you to know one thing. It's just all too easy to put a huge amount of energy in maybe social media and digital marketing across multiple sites, TikToking, whatever it is that you're doing, and scratch your head and wonder whether whatever hard work is actually working is making a significant difference. We could actually shorten the learning curve for you so you can save on money, time, and effort. So every person that comes across your work will be able to be converted into a client that pays, stays, and actually refers. I can't wait to see you in season 5, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this episode today, because this will be the start of the rest of your life. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So, look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au